Picture a huge city during a crazy heat wave. You've got thousands of buildings, millions of people, all trying to stay cool. But what if I told you the solution wasn't a million little machines, but one giant, natural one, just hiding right there in plain sight?
I mean, really, how do you cool down one of those giant glass skyscrapers when the summer sun is just baking it? And how do you do it without a crazy high energy bill and without just pumping more hot air out onto the street, making the city even hotter? Sounds like a trick question, right? But the answer is amazing. All right, so let's get into it. First up, we've got to talk about the big problem with how we cool things down right now. You know, your standard AC unit, it's a total energy guzzler. It works by taking the hot air from inside and just dumping it outside. Now, multiply that by thousands of buildings in a city. You're literally cooking the city. So the hotter it gets outside, the harder our ACs have to work, which uses more power and, you guessed it, makes things even hotter. It's this awful, vicious cycle. But what if there was a way to break that cycle? What if we could tap into this huge, hidden source of cold that's right next door? Well, that brings us to a pretty amazing secret hiding in the lake. So the secret is all thanks to some super simple and kind of cool physics. Water has this unique property where at the very bottom of deep, cold lakes, it stays at a constant, ice-cold 4 degrees Celsius. That's about 39 Fahrenheit, all year round. It's basically a massive, natural refrigerator just sitting there. Okay, so how on earth do you actually use a lake to air condition a whole city? Let's walk through how it works, and you'll see the engineering behind it is absolutely brilliant, but also surprisingly simple. To see how this works in the real world, let's head to Toronto, Canada. They've built this amazing system called Deep Lake Water Cooling, and it all starts with these enormous pipes that stretch way out into Lake Ontario. We're talking over 3 miles to get down to that super cold water at the bottom. So here's the 4-step process broken down. First, the system sucks in that icy cold lake water. Second, and this is the really clever part, it runs through a heat exchanger. This transfers all the cold into a completely separate loop of water that's just for the city's buildings. The key thing here is the lake water never actually goes into the buildings. So, third, that newly chilled city water gets circulated downtown, cooling everything down. And fourth, the original lake water, which is now just a little bit warmer, gets returned to the lake, totally clean and unharmed. And I mean, just look at the scale of this thing. This isn't some small experiment. It's a massive feat of engineering. They had to lay these gigantic insulated pipes all along the lake bed to create what's basically a cooling lifeline for the whole city. It's just incredible. Okay, so they did all this incredible work. What's the payoff? Well, this is where it gets really exciting. The impact is huge. We're talking about a genuine climate solution here. Check this out. This is the big one. The system in Toronto uses 90% less electricity than regular air conditioning would to cool the same amount of space. Let that sink in, 90%. That is just a mind-blowing drop in energy use. And of course, when you use way less electricity, you create way fewer emissions. We're talking about a reduction of 40,000 tons of CO2 every single year. To give you an idea of what that means, it's like taking thousands and thousands of cars off the road. Just poof, gone. So let's put it all side by side. It's pretty clear, right? Compared to your typical AC, this deep lake water cooling uses way less electricity, it slashes CO2 emissions, and, this is a big one, it doesn't dump more heat into the city. It is a win-win-win. So, what does all this mean? What's the big picture here for the future of our cities? I think the big takeaway is this. Sometimes the smartest, most powerful solutions are also the simplest ones. They're the ones that are hiding right in front of us. By working with nature's built-in systems, like the permanent cold at the bottom of a lake, we can solve some of our absolute biggest challenges. Hey, if you thought this was as cool as I did, and you want to learn more about other brilliant energy solutions just like this one, make sure you subscribe to Energy Simply Explained. Thanks so much for watching.